Good morning. Beautiful Saturday. Heading off to go play a game of Will It Start. I was out this morning, had to load a totem molasses for a guy. Actually had a pretty good chat about protein levels in cereal grains. Then I was over at the pump house because our big pressure tank in the basement in our house was empty. That's the second time that's happened. And I figured out today why that happened. Because dummy number one right here, who doesn't really understand a lot of stuff, I started horsing around with those two screws in the pressure control, and what was happening is the pump was kicking out before the pressure got high enough to fill that tank. So anyways, I adjusted that properly, and now the tank is filled. So we have like top shelf water pressure in the house. So that's pretty exciting because it's nice to have a water pressure when you're having a shower. So if you were wondering what I mean by game of Will It Start, over in the shed we have Mother's motorhome, our TJ 380, our 4730 John Deere sprayer. We have our T9 505 New Holland tractor. We have our 9750 John Deere combine. We have our 9610 John Deere combine. We have our M155 McDonald's swather. And we have our Seedmaster drill and our FlexiCoil drills all the way shoved into the back of the shed. So we have to get everything out of the shed. Everything out, hook up to the drills, pull the drills out, put everything back, and then back the drills back in. Backing the drills back in actually isn't really all that important. What is important is getting them out and getting the combines and stuff put back in, because we're often going to have it's gonna rain, and we might even get a little bit of snow and stuff. And I just prefer, due to the fact that we have built this big huge shed, to keep everything inside. I don't need to have it stored inside all winter just to bring it out to let it get rained and snowed on while I'm trying to work on it. I would just prefer it drier. It's miserable enough working on those as it is, because there's 10,000 Packer wheels, and there's 10,000 tires, and there's 10,000 shanks that you got to crawl under and check and set and air up tires and stuff. It's miserable enough just doing that when there's water dripping on you and snow and everything's sticky and gross and muddy. It just adds to the frustration. So it is trying to spick a little bit right now, trying to rain, but not a big deal. I got all my bags tied up. Last week was crazy. That was, I think, the busiest week I've ever had. I just made bags and bags and bags and bags and bags. So there was no footage from last week, but there will be some footage from today as we play Will It Start. All right, well, now just I got that bag filler thing, popper thing that I made. I got that out of the way. So full disclosure before we start the game, Mother has fired up her motorhome several times over the winter to make sure that it still starts. This tractor, I started a while ago. I'm not even sure why. So I think the batteries are still connected. And that sprayer, I started that a while ago when I had to get that or that yellow truck out, because what happened was the stairs on the ladder folded down. See the stairs over there? They folded down, and then the airbags went out of the suspension, so it sunk down, and it was actually hooked on the yellow truck. So I had to fire it up to let the airbags fill up to get it out. So that's been running already this spring. This, I can't remember the last time I started it. That's been running a few times. This tractor hasn't been running since last winter. Neither have the combines or the swather. Everything that has a disconnect has been disconnected, and anything that doesn't have a disconnect, the batteries have been unhooked. One thing we should be doing is checking the oil and everything, just in case something has given up over the winter. I actually had that happen on my Kenworth. Not with the oil, just a sec here, but with the coolant. So I'd been hauling grain, and then one morning I popped the hood, checked the oil, and the coolant was way down. I fired it up anyways, not thinking too much of it. And then while I was letting the Kenworth warm up, something in the back of my mind was like, you know what, that's weird. There's no coolant on the ground. There's no coolant anywhere. It was full all day yesterday. Where did it go? So there was nothing, none in the oil, none on the ground. So I got looking around, and there was a breather on the top of the transmission. At least I think that's what it was. And it was bubbling out like yellow shit. So I texted a mechanic friend of mine, and I was like, what's going on here? And he said, well, I don't know. Maybe something wrong with your intercooler. Of course, I didn't know what an intercooler was at the time because I'm not a mechanic. And what had happened was the intercooler had failed or broke or cracked or whatever inside, and all the coolant drained into the transmission. So things can fail sitting, so you always want to check your stuff. But anyways, start the game here. First unit, TJ380. Oh, it's got jammed. Oh. Well, look at that, eh? Shows how cool I am. That's my station. No go. All right, we got the power assist hooked up. We'll see if it just needs a quick little. Oh no, it's gonna need an actual boost. Crazy. Make sure it is actually boosting. Where's that at here? Oh, there it was. $12.9. Well, let's try the sprayer. So like I said, the batteries were all disconnected on everything that didn't have a disconnect. Light is turning on. Give her just a second here in case glow plugs want to fire up, which doesn't look like they do. Oh yeah. So the John Deere sprayer starts. One thing that I also just realized, we took the batteries out of this combine because they were kind of getting borderline anyways, and the ones in the telehandler didn't work at all. So we took the two batteries out of this combine, put them in the telehandler. So this combine doesn't even have batteries in it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take one out of that 9750 and put it in the 9610. Should start off one battery if it's going to start at all. And I'm going to do that while the telehandler is boosting that TJ. I don't think it will take much, but obviously it's going to take a little bit. So, sprayer's out, TJ is out. Dad went and found a different battery. He's going to put it in that combine. And we'll see if that T9 starts. Oh, lights up. So did the TJ though. Let's see if it tells me what voltage we got here. 11.8. I don't have good hopes for this. Amazing. I wouldn't have believed that. Oh boy. That don't sound very good, but I don't even know what that is. Anyways, started. So here's the 9610 with one battery. I don't actually have much hope for it, but it beeped. Shit turned on. Let's see, maybe. Just a minute here. I think I got something. There's always a settings you gotta have. So that 9610 with one battery was a no. We'll try the swather with two batteries. Get it turned on. Get this thing. There's a certain way to latch this thing. Okay. We'll see how the swather does. Everything gets lights right away. This is a hard start an old girl in the best of days for some reason. Oh yeah. Oh. Well, it did start, but was not as impressive as I thought it should have been for a fairly new swather with 600 hours on it. 620, I guess. So as you can see, we are rolling, but the 9610 did not start. And that's actually not surprising because it didn't have any batteries in it. And then the battery that we did grab was an old deep cycle battery that we actually had used for our trolling motor on our boat. So that's all that's running it right now. So it didn't need a boost, didn't need a battery, but it did start. So quick recap: started, didn't start, started, 9610 didn't start. Dad's gonna hop up in the 9750, hook the batteries up. That one does have batteries. They were new batteries last year as well. And I'm gonna see if Mother's motorhome will start. Well, I'm assuming by the hood up, you should realize that it didn't start. I didn't film it because it was a tight squeeze to even get in there. But Dad's gonna bring the old power unit over, add some juice to these batteries, and get her out of here. So a quick shot with the booster cables, and Mother's motorhome lives again. We'll get it out of here. And last but not least is going to be that 9750. I have a feeling that'll start as soon as we hook the batteries up. Now I can get this out of here without doing any damage. It's always a problem when you try to Tetris everything in. Then you, uh-oh, hold on a sec here. Well, looks like we got her out with no damage. Leave her run there for a little while. Good to get everything out, get everything running. Chase the squirrels and the mice and birds and whatever else is set up shop in there out. All right, well, drill's hooked up, drill is out. Unbelievable how tricky it is to remember where everything goes when you only do hook it up once a year or twice a year. You forget. But I think life is good. That 9750, it did start. I had to go load some molasses, so Dad, all he did was hook the batteries up and it fired right up. So that's a win. So we'll have to go through now and make sure all these are set right to the right depth. It's kind of a bit of a tricky thing. You got to loosen this. But anyways, that'll be once we finally get into it. You definitely want to keep this stuff under a roof if at all possible. So many hydraulic lines and cables and hoses, electrical wires. And we're going to head over there now and get that flexi coil toolbar out of there because, well, I mean, it's going to have to come out of there. But if we get it out of there, then we can put all the combines back in and the sprayer and everything else. Put that all the way at the far end of the shop, and life should be good. Well, that's enough for today. That was a good game of will it start. We did get the Seedmaster hooked up to the TJ. We got the flexi coil hooked up to the T9, also known as Gus and Blue. And we are going to do some wheel bearings and stuff like that, some bushings on the flexi coil because we were planning to use it again. We're going to seed peas with it and maybe some barley. But yeah, as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you all on the next one.